Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those whose interests you've committed to our church. Amen. I directed the quorum bell be rung for the first 5 minutes. As the bell is being rung, I'm not able to spot the whip, but I can see the deputy leader majority, so you can whip the members to come in. So as he does that one, no member will go out except the leader, the deputy leader majority, who will go out to whip the members come in. Honorable Lumumba, do you have quorum?
Mr. Speaker, yes, we do have.
Clerk, take us through the order of the day.
The third assembly, third session, order paper number 256 of today, Wednesday, 13th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I did communicate yesterday that we shall be having Kamkunji, but having consulted with the leader of majority, we have agreed that we have the Kamkunji on Tuesday next week, immediately after the session. So I'm officially communicating that it will be there on Tuesday after the afternoon session. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6.
Oh, Honorable Leader of Majority. What is it? I saw you standing, Honorable Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've consulted with the clerk and we've agreed on the same issue.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Statement time. The Honorable Jena Kizito.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You know, you have changed where you are sitting, so I was struggling to see who is this.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, kindly protect me from Honorable Chelly. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to order number 42 2B of the standing orders to seek a statement from the chairperson of the Sectoral Committee on Medical Services, Public Health and Sanitation regarding the growing mental health challenges within Kisumu County, specifically the rising cases of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and depression. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 guarantees the right to quality health care, including mental health services, as outlined in Article 43(1)(a). Additionally, the Mental Health Act, Cap 248, establishes the legal framework for mental health services, mandating equitable and dignified treatment for individuals within mental health conditions. Despite these legal provisions, residents of Kisumu County face persistent barriers in accessing sufficient mental health care, especially for conditions such as PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other resource constraints. On county allocations for mental health over recent financial years, an examination of Kisumu County's approved budget estimates for FYs 2021-2022, 2023-2024, and 2024-2025 shows a concerning trend that in financial year 2021-2022, mental health was allocated 1.1 million under use of goods and services, which, while addressing some operational needs, demonstrated limited commitment to expanding mental health services and infrastructure. In financial year 2023-2024, funds directed towards mental health operations were unspecified, indicating a decrease in financial prioritization. In financial year 2024-2025, the mental health allocation stands at 290,500 shillings, a significant reduction from previous years. This amount, Mr. Speaker, intended for general recurrent and capital expenses is insufficient for expanding programming, infrastructure, or specialized staffing. While mental health has been consistently recognized as a program area, the funding levels across these financial years have been inadequate to facilitate meaningful program development or expansion. Currently, only Kisumu County Referral Hospital has a psychiatric ward, and its conditions requires improvement, Mr. Speaker. The limited financial support for mental health has constrained the county's ability to meet rising mental health needs, impacting service delivery effectiveness. Under-resourced mental health services, coupled with stigma and restricted access to care, have worsened the crisis, leading to heightened vulnerability, social isolation, and increased suicide risk among affected residents. Honorable Speaker, therefore, the chairperson should conduct a detailed inquiry into and provide a comprehensive report on 1, data on the prevalence of PTSD and other mental health conditions in Kisumu County, including details on how this data is collected, monitored, and applied in resource allocation and program planning. 2, details on the specific indicators used to measure progress in addressing mental health challenges within the county. 3, information on how frequently mental health programs and services are assessed, the actions taken based on evaluation outcomes, and how these findings influence decision-making and resource distribution. 4, information on the current condition of the psychiatric ward at Kisumu County Referral Hospital, including the number of wards, bed capacity, and accommodations for male and female patients. 5, details of any plans to expand Kisumu County Referral Hospital psychiatric ward or enable other facilities in the county to provide mental health services to meet the growing demand. 6, the current count of mental health professionals, including psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors, noting any staffing gaps and details of recruitment aimed at addressing these shortages. The availability of mental health services in primary healthcare facilities and any wellness centers in place or under development to provide accessible community-level mental health support. 8, any ongoing or planned community initiatives to reduce stigma surrounding PTSD and other mental health conditions, including partnerships with community health workers, religious groups, and local leaders. 9, information on any training programs for healthcare workers aimed at enhancing skills in mental health diagnosis, trauma response, and patient referral. 10, details on any existing collaborations with NGOs, mental health advocacy groups, or other counties to enhance resources, training, and program support for PTSD and related mental health needs. 11, explain any factors that have contributed to the limited prioritization. Speaker, information on any external funding received specifically for psychiatric and trauma care. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'm struggling to support the chair of health or the vice chair of health or Honorable, you're king with the chair of health. Honorable Nyaoke.
Mr. Speaker, I've just consulted with the chair of health, and is saying that I'll deliver his message that he requires like 2 weeks to bring back the reply, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
What is it, Honorable Daddy?
Honorable Nyaoke has not been sworn in as a vice chair. So,
order, Honorable Daddy.
Not a vice chair.
Point of order, Honorable Chair.
Let me deal with the Daddy's point of order first. Honorable Leader of Majority. Honorable Daddy, I believe that's Honorable Daddy. You know, I'm used to you sitting somewhere there. I believe that the Honorable Nyaoke, unless I got him wrong, he didn't mention that he's the vice chair of health. He only stood and said that he has consulted the chair of health, and the chair of health has said that he will work on that statement in a period of 2 weeks.
Point of information, Mr. Speaker.
What is the information, Honorable?
According to the list read yesterday, I think Honorable Nyauke is a member of Health Committee, and as per that, his chair communicated to him, so he don't need to be sworn to be a member. So, and it was immediately. Were it that the health was in Ghana, you would have went to Ghana. Thank you.
Honorable James Omolo, that's exactly what I'm saying, that whether it's a member of committee or not, he stood as a member of county assembly. I didn't hear him mention that I'm a chair of health or what, but he gave the information that I wanted. But I saw the Honorable Leader of Majority on his feet.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I know you commented on this, but now the member is walking out. I wanted to ask the Chair procedure drills to give us guidance on that.
Honorable Joachim, I saw you up. Is it all the same?
No, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to clarify because I'm a member of health.
Yeah, proceed.
And we were with the chair as we were consulting together with the Honorable Nyauke. And because Honorable Nyauke was a little bit excited, he wanted to be the one to communicate. But I know I was the one who was to totally communicate on this. So because of his excitement, I decided to allow him to communicate on behalf of the chair health. So I think whatever he has communicated is the true position, and the chair requested for 2 weeks to be able to totally respond on that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I commit the statement raised by Honorable Regina Kizito to the Committee of Health, Public Sanitation, and please follow our standing orders to work in the on the statement within a period of 2 weeks. I think it's something that is workable within 2 weeks. So please ensure it's 2 weeks. I know health have been following up on their work, so I'm sure that the health committee can deliver on this. Yes, Honorable Joachim.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also have a statement. In fact, there are two, but I'll start with one, Mr. Speaker, on the matter of disposal of movable assets in the county. And Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to standing order number 42, part 2B of the standing order to seek a statement from the chairperson of Sectoral Committee on Finance and ICT on the matter of disposal of movable assets in the county. And Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the Public Procurement and Disposal Act 2015 and its regulations read together with the County Government Act, provide that all county assets deemed unserviceable, obsolete, and surplus be transparently managed and, when necessary, disposed of it accordance with the laid down procedures, Mr. Speaker. These laws mandate the counties to maintain an accurate and up-to-date register of assets and periodically review and dispose of assets to ensure efficient use of public resources. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, since the inception of devolution, however, the county government of Kisumu has not publicly disclosed the assets marked for disposal, leading to questions regarding the status and transparency of assets disposal practice within the county. And Mr. Speaker, given the absence of publicly available information of these disposable assets, clarity is needed on the current status of the county's fixed assets and the processes undertaken for any disposal up to date. Because, Mr. Speaker, I've never seen a field full of furniture and computers. And Mr. Speaker, again, in this regard, the chairperson should carry out an inquiry and provide a detailed report on the following attendant matters. 1, register of fixed assets in the county detailing the following. A, motor vehicles. Provide the total number of motor vehicles in the county, those inherited from the former local authority, those acquired since devolution, and any donated to the county by other bodies. And then part 2, detail the current status of these motor vehicles, include number of vehicles disposed of since devolution, and a number of vehicles that are operational And then 3, detailed information on all unserviceable motor vehicles with the location where such are grounded. And then part B, office equipment. Provide the total number of office equipment assets in the county, those inherited from former local authority, those acquired since devolution, and any donated to the county by other bodies, Mr. Speaker. And then part 2 of office equipment, detail the current status of this equipment, include number of equipment assets disposed of since devolution, and number of operational equipment assets. And then C, furniture and fittings. That is, they provide the total number of furniture and fitting assets in the county, those inherited from the former local authority, those acquired since devolution, any donated to the county by other bodies, and then they also provide detail and the current status of these assets, including number of furniture and fittings disposed of since devolution, and the number of operational furniture and fittings. And then number 2, a breakdown of total amount spent on the purchase of motor vehicles, office equipment and furniture, and fittings since devolution. And then 3, provide a list of unserviceable assets donated to any learning institution or any other institution as the case may be. And then part 4, status of status of assets disposal, a detailed report on the process and outcome of asset disposal, including, that is, A, provide a detailed asset disposal plan, B, method of disposal, e.g. like auction, tender, or trading. And then part C, revenue generated or projected from the disposal. If not, provide justification. And then D, compliance with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. And then lastly, Mr. Speaker, provide information regarding the valuation, the insurance coverage of the assets. If valued, please attach a report detailing the asset valued of each asset. And if not valued, provide a justification for this decision, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Member Finance and ICT, Chairperson Finance and ICT. I am able to see the Honorable Lumumba Wade is here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've heard the concern of, or the statement of a fellow member for Kondele is valid, and I can promise on behalf of the committee that we'll be able to give a comprehensive a report within 21 days. Thank you.
What is it, Honorable Hodari?
Mr. Speaker, I have a statement.
Let me sort out this one first. What is it, Honorable the majority?
Chair, before Honorable Dare gives his statement, now that the Vice Chair Finance has given us the timeline, I just wanted to request the Honorable Ogadalema, who is now a member of Finance, to second what is senior in the committee. As he has commented. Thank you.
I think we do not require him to second because it's not a motion. He was just giving feedback. I want to request the Finance Committee that I know you have a lot of work. You have a lot of work. But I had suggested earlier that sometimes the way the committee can work very well is that you can put yourself in subcommittees of 2 people each, or even 3, so that you can handle number of items at a go. There is no need of you, all of you, sitting together and working on an item at a time. You can divide yourself into groups so that you handle these matters. There are some of the items that are in your committee have deadlines, so you must work on them according to those timelines. So I direct that this statement be committed to the Committee of Finance and ICT, but I want you to work closely with Big Pack Committee, because It has matters of investment, so it could be the committee of PIC, Public Investment Committee. That's why I'm saying I want you to work very close with the PIC committee on their reports and even the previous resolutions that are made earlier. This one also, I believe that if you are able to organize yourselves well, and again, since it requires some communication, I think I give you 3 weeks. 3 weeks from today means you are supposed to report back in the first week of December, and that should be on 3rd. On 3rd of December. The Honorable Deputy Leader of Majority, I hope you've noted that one. Honorable Joachim, you said you had 2 statements. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have one last one on the matter of compliance with the regulation number 70. That is one of the Public Service Commission regulations 2020 by the County Public Service Board on the mandatory retirement age. And Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 42, Part 2B of the Standing Orders to seek a statement from the Chairperson of the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services on compliance with Regulation number 70, Part 1 of the Public Service Commission Regulation 2020 by the County Public Service Board on the mandatory retirement age provision. And Regulation 70, Part 1 of the Public Service Regulation 2020 provide the mandatory retirement age in the public service to be 60 years, Mr. Speaker. 65 years for persons with disability, and such an age as may be determined by the Commission for lecturers and research scientists serving in public universities, research institutions, or equivalent institutions as determined by Commission in consultation with such universities, research institutions, or equivalent institutions, Mr. Speaker. And in this regard, Mr. Speaker, I request that the chairperson provide a comprehensive report covering the following. 1, a detailed record of all employees of the county government of Kisumu since 2013, evidenced by a payroll printout, including their names, ID numbers, and dates of birth as per official identification. 2, Mr. Speaker, a report on officers who have reached the retirement age since 2013, including those who have retired during this period. Number 3, information on employees due to retire within the next year, including specific timelines for recruitment and onboarding processes. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, a detailed report on officers who have reached the mandatory retirement age yet continue to draw salaries while still employed by the county government of Kisumu. This report should include reasons why these officers have not retired as stipulated by law. And then number 5, a report on any instances where contracts have been extended or reissued for officers post-retirement, detailing the rationale for each extension, Mr. Speaker, the specific roles these officers are serving, and the terms of their engagement. And then number 6, information on policies or guidelines the county government of Kisumu has in place regarding succession planning, especially in departments with a significant number of employees approaching retirement to ensure continuity of service. And then number 7, an outline of any training, mentorship, or skill transfer programs designed to prepare younger employees or successors for roles that will be vacated during mandatory retirements, Mr. Speaker. And then lastly, a summary of any audit findings or internal reviews conducted since 2013 regarding compliance with the retirement laws and regulations within the county government, including any corrective action, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable Zachary Okoye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as the Chair of Labor and Social Welfare, we accept and we've received the statement, and I believe we are going to work within the period which is required and bring back the report to the Assembly and the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I want to direct that the Labor and Social Welfare Committee look into this statement. But I also want you to work very close with the Committee of Administrative Law, Justice, Legal Affairs, and Good Governance. Because there are also issues here cutting across governance. And report back within, this one you should give us progress report within 2 weeks. Be able to give us a report within 2 weeks from the date of commitment. Honorable Zachary Okoyo. The same approach that we said, you can divide yourselves into groups. And honorable members, when we have committed work to committees, I mean, I don't see why it becomes even challenging to work on them. Even the House Business Committee trying even to schedule committees, I think it makes no sense because you already have work. It is you supposed to be giving us your program, that this is how you want to work, so that we approve it and you proceed. So I believe we are not going to have any excuse. Honorable Zachary, Honorable Kowade, on behalf of the Finance Committee, I expect that you sit as soon as possible, give us your work plan. So it is the work plan that we should be feeding into the schedule that we develop as House Business Committee every week. Still settlement time. Rebudari, where are you seated, one? You keep on confusing me. I have to struggle to know who is standing. As Honorable Yuko chased you away.
Huh? Honorable Nancy Matara invited.
Matara has attracted him.
Yeah. That is it, Mr. Speaker. I'm Egonga from Kisumu.
Rebudari, can you give us your statement?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order number 41 2B, I rise to seek a statement from Chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Fishery, Livestock Development and Irrigation about the schedule of the use of plowing tractors purchased by the county government of Kisumu. Pursuant to the ongoing short rains in the country, it is also the season of plowing when farmers need plowing service the most. Honorable Speaker, aware that the county government of Kisumu purchased plowing tractors with the intention of providing plowing services to the residents of Kisumu County at a subsidized cost in all 8 sub-counties. Honorable Speaker, I therefore wish to seek a statement from Chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, Fishery, Livestock, Development and Irrigation to provide response on the following matters. Number 1, a detailed report on the number of tractors purchased by the county government of Kisumu, stating their current condition, whether grounded or operational. Number 2, a report on the number of farmers who have benefited from the tractor this season, including the sub-counties where these farmers are based. Number 3, a clear procedure for accessing and using the tractors, including the cost of hiring them and the terms of service. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I'm struggling to look for the chairperson of agriculture. The vice chair. Honorable Deputy Speaker, are you the chair for agriculture?
No, Speaker, but a member has walked in naked, but is walking out again. But when you're done with agriculture, Mr. Speaker, I'll ask your chair to give leave on a matter of concern in relation to the Speaker's rules on dress code. Thank you.
The first, Vice Chair, Agriculture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would, on behalf of my chair.
What is happening today? Everybody is jumbled up. I'm struggling to I'm struggling to identify members because I'm seeing Honorable Abil has escaped, is seated somewhere. I saw Honorable Matara now, I'm not able to spot her. Honorable Bill, who has chased you from your chair?
Mr. Speaker, there was some confusion. There's a member who was resurfaced, so I had to create room.
Who is the member?
Honorable God.
Honorable God, I've been seeing of Honorable God. Why do you say that Honorable God has resurfaced? I've always been seeing Honorable God name.
Honorable Speaker, there's a chair. There's a confusion here. We normally sit on one seat. When I'm there, I'll sit there. When God is the first, he sits there. So he was the first.
Honorable members, there's a reason why you should maintain where you sit. It's for ease of identification. So it's important that you maintain where you sit. Honorable Bill, proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, on behalf of my chair, I wanted to ask the House to give us 2 weeks to give a detailed report.
Honorable members, I direct this statement to the Committee of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, and Blue Economy. And they should work on it and give a report to the House within a period of 2 weeks. Statement time. Honorable Deputy Speaker, what was it?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, mine is not a statement. Mr. Speaker, mine is not a statement, but a matter of concern in regards to Speaker's role on dress code, especially for our brothers. Mr. Speaker, I've noticed lately that the Zakayo dress code is slowly getting into the parliamentary session, where we have our male counterparts coming in with counters which are not official parliamentary in nature.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we know that for a counter to be official, it has to be long-sleeved, it has to have a collar and a cap. Mr. Speaker, I had the privilege of visiting the National Parliament, and Mr. Speaker, as a shadow of the National Parliament, we need to learn from our big brothers. Our brothers, Mr. Speaker, even come to the assembly, to the chambers in jeans, trousers, rubber shoes, in t-shirts, and put on coats on top of them. So, Mr. Speaker, our brothers are diluting the dignity of this House. So just a matter of concern that we be taken to a recap on the dress code of this parliamentary system, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Point of
what is it, Honorable Nyauke?
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted the member to generalize, because it is not only the brothers, Mr. Speaker. We also do have a problem with our female counterparts. If it becomes that we agree, if we agree that let us be decent, let us all be decent, Mr. Speaker. It is not only brothers. Even some of our sisters are giving us a lot of problems, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
What is it, Honorable Dari?
Mr. Speaker, I was struggling. I wanted to know from Deputy Speaker, who is Zakayo? And before she answers, even we lead by examples. Even her sometimes you will see her thighs outside when she's going on the other side. So this is something which we have to be very, very serious. Even in the house, whatever you are doing, your children are copying. So Thank you.
What is it, Honorable Dede?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The honorable member who has raised the statement, I think she was just joking, being that he was talking of brotherhood, and this is an honorable house. He would have called the honorable male members within the house. The honorable member was talking of my brothers. So the brotherhood should be outside the premise of the house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let me remind you that each and every member was given a copy of the Speaker's rules on dress code. And I want to call upon the Sergeant at Arms. It's your responsibility. When members are coming in, you must be able to identify, because all of you have copies of the Speaker's rules on dress code. So you must be able to guide the members. Those who are not properly dressed should not be allowed to get in. And if any member comes in forcefully, you should bring that one to the attention of the Speaker, because we have different committees dealing with such issues. So let it be a reminder that we have our dress code. The only thing that we allowed is that if you are in a corporate shirt, you can come in, and I think we had suggested certain days that we should be in corporate shirts. Otherwise, let's maintain our dress code. Should be official for both the female members of county assemblies and the male members of county assemblies. So if you've lost your copy of the Speaker's rules, please, you can call upon the clerk's office or the Speaker's office so that you are furnished with a copy. Or you can ask your neighbor. So before you come, look at yourself in the mirror and see if you are properly dressed as per the rules of the house. So let's not compromise them. And going forward, Sergeant at Arms, if anybody comes not properly dressed, please bring it to the attention of the Speaker so that it's dealt with accordingly. Otherwise, we can proceed. We have exhausted the statement hour. So we go to the next order.
Commencement of Order number 8, motion that this House adopts the report of Sports, Culture, Youth Affairs Committee on the status of various cultural sites and football pitches in the county by the Honorable Karen Odhiambo. By the Honorable Nancy Matara.
Oh, even Honorable Nancy has disappeared again. What is happening this side?
I've resurfaced.
Honorable Nancy, can you proceed?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to move a motion on the statement of various culture sites and football pitches within the county of Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, the report outlines the finding from site visits conducted by the committee on its own initiative during the extended recess. The committee visited the multiple locations throughout the county to gather the first-hand information and evaluate conditions, thereby fulfilling its oversight by responsibilities. These visits were part of the committee's proactive efforts to ensure comprehensive monitoring and assessment of the county's various sites. The committee visited the following sites in the county. 1, Abindu Shrines in Kisumu, that's in West Sub-County. 2, Gotkadaniel Shrine in Kisumu East. 3, Kitmikai in Seme. 4, Kombeo Football Pitch in Nyakach. 5, Alango Football Pitch in Kisumu East. 6, Moroni Stadium in Moroni. And finally, 7, Nanga Football Pitch in Kisumu Central. Observation. During the site visits, the committee noted the following issues. 1, poor road accessibility to the sites and most pitches. Undefined boundaries. 3, most pitches are not well leveled and lack essential facilities such as goalposts, terraces, and changing rooms. 4, absence of proper structures for the generating revenue. 5, most of the sites lack proper fencing. 6, most of the sites are located on a private land, and you can see the annexures. On general recommendation, 1, infrastructure enhancement. That the department should invest in the development and the upgrading of the essential amenities such as restrooms, terraces, and changing rooms across all the football pitches constructed by the county. 2, accessibility improvement. The department should prioritize the construction and maintains the access roads leading to various sites within the county. This will ensure smooth and safe passage for visitors, including tourists, worshippers, and sports enthusiasts. 3, security measures. Install star defense and implement security measures to safeguard the integrity and sanctity of the sites, protecting them from encroachment and vandalism and unauthorized access. Number 4, revenue generation. The Department of Revenue should deploy staff to various tourism attraction sites to monitor and manage the revenue generated from these locations. This will ensure that the funds collected are effectively utilized to benefit the county of Kisumu. By having dedicated personnel at these sites, the department can oversee revenue locations, prevent potential losses, and enhance the financial resources available for the community development and tourism infrastructure in the county. 5, tourism promotion. Develop comprehensive tourism promotion strategies and marketing campaigns to raise awareness of the cultural and natural significance of the sites. Target both domestic and international audience through digital platforms, travel agencies, and cultural events to increase in visitation and economic impact. Number 5, signage installation and refurbishment. Erect clear and informative signage and strategic locations to enhance the visibility, recognition, and accessibility of the sites as cultural, religious, and the recreational landmark. Refurbishing existing signage to maintain relevance and effectiveness in the guiding visitors. 7, acquisitions of lands. The county government needs to establish a structure to oversee the acquisitions of privately owned lands where it has initiated and completed projects. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, it's now my pleasure to move this motion that this House adopt this report of the Sports, Gender, Culture and Youth Affairs Committee report on the status of various cultural sites and football pitches within Kisumu County. And now may I call Honorable James Were to second. Thank you.
Honorable Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this report. Mr. Speaker, this House give a mandate to the committee to go around so that they could check on the status of the facilities, the sporting facilities that are mentioned, and the cultural sites that are also mentioned. Mr. Speaker, we found out that there are a lot of things that were happening to our important facilities. There were no proper access roads to those facilities. Some of the facilities were dilapidated, no fencing. There were no signboards that are erected that are showing the people that where the facilities are located. Mr. Speaker, there are a raft of recommendations that were made by the committee that there's need for the county to improve on those facilities so that they could fetch revenue. Because, Mr. Speaker, when all our sporting facilities are done in a proper way and in a usable way, it will help, first, our youth. It will help our youth in talent development. They will be having good places where they can train, and as they engage in training and playing different games, Mr. Speaker, we ensure that even the well-being of our people is taken care of. Mr. Speaker, when we have our facilities fenced properly, the security, even of the people that are using those facilities, are guaranteed. Mr. Speaker, if all that are recommended in this report is done, then, Mr. Speaker, the county even is able to generate more income, and this one will be a benefit to our county. Mr. Speaker, I therefore beg to second the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that the Honorable Nancy Matara have moved a motion and seconded by the Honorable, what is it, Honorable Billy? What is it? I'm on my feet, Honorable Billy. So, is there a problem, Honorable Deputy Speaker? What is the problem with Honorable Billy?
Mr. Speaker, I think Honorable Billy wanted to second.
Wanted to do what? What is it, Honorable Deputy Speaker?
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Billy wanted to come back to his seat now that Honorable Gad has left.
Okay.
Thank you.
Honorable members, as per our standing order, I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion is open for debate. Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose the adoption of this report. Mr. Speaker, the committee has listed a number of tourist sites within the county. And Mr. Speaker, in their report, they are clearly telling us that most of those tourist sites are not located in the land owned by Kisumu County government. And the chair has clearly read that most of them are located in private lands, but they still go ahead and tell us to invest in those sites, provide security in those sites, and then deploy people to collect, our revenue officers to collect revenue from those sites. Mr. Speaker, how do we secure private land and collect revenue on those same lands? How do we use public funds to improve or to construct personal lands and expect the county to collect revenue on the same? Have we turned into a government that now wants to snatch people's properties and claim it as our own? Mr. Speaker, I request the committee to go back, do due diligence, tell us which sites belong to the county and which ones are resting on private lands. If there are measures in place by the county to get the ownership of those lands, then they should tell us to what extent are the talks being made by those private owners, and if they can allow the county government to acquire those lands. But we cannot go and take people's lands, collect revenue on them. Mr. Speaker, we cannot do that. And so, Mr. Speaker, I oppose the adoption of this report, and ask them to go back and do a thorough job and tell us which ones do they specifically mean do not belong to the county. Thank you.
Honorable Pamela, you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support the report. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing to support the report because cultural sites are locations recognized for their historical, cultural, archaeological, which are significantly protected by law to preserve the value for future generations. Mr. Speaker, I want to support this report because there is need to protect our cultural heritage spaces. Kisumu, we are looking forward to enhancing our revenue. Secondly, we are looking forward to enhancing our cultural, tourism, and heritage sites. I want to support this report because for us to enhance our tourism hub, we need to protect our cultural sites to enable us market Kisumu as a tourism hub. Mr. Speaker, I want to say, out of the identified cultural sites, it is important that the county should move forward, formalize their being by getting title deeds to those areas. I oppose the idea of not adopting the report, since whatever is there, we need to do something about it to make it authentic, to make it formal, so that we enhance our growth in tourism area. I want to say, we have moved to other countries, having been honorable members, and we have gone to other countries. And whatever is taking us more to those countries is to see what they are doing with their cultural centers, how they are enhancing their ability in tourism to enhance their revenue collection. I want to say these sites need to be protected, they need to be fenced, they need to be formalized for future generations, because if you allow them to degenerate, what will our future children see as cultural values? I want to say the motion is important, and this House should discuss this motion extensively and give it power, that those sites are formalized and protected, and the ones which have not been formalized and have no title deeds, the country should take a step forward to formalize their existence and enhance our revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support the report.
Samuel Lede.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me also echo my sentiment concerning the motion on the floor. First and foremost, I take the opportunity to congratulate the committee for having brought the half-baked report within this assembly. To begin with, an area has been mentioned like Abendu Cave or Abendu Shrine, which falls within my area of jurisdiction, within my ward, Mr. Speaker. If you find that in Abendu Shrine, we've seen that they lack variety of things like fencing. Yes, fencing is needed, Mr. Speaker, but is there an area, the marked area which should be fenced? We should be working on an area which has got proper demarcations, like the Abendu Shrines. If no proper demarcation, Mr. Speaker, where will we fence? And we found that the members went ahead and searched the fact from the heritage site, Mr. Speaker. Being that Abendu, they've talked of other lands are owned by the county government. They will have gone deep to show us the planning report, or the title deed, or the title number should have been annexed for this site which they visited, to show us that such and such an area, the title deed is such a number from which, and the mark introduced, Mr. Speaker. With that, we don't have, even, we have not been given the title deed number for the Abendu shrine, and we don't know where it falls. And from the annex which was brought from the CCM lands, it has been indicated that the report which were brought was not fully baked, and we've been told that by 17th of September 2024, a detailed report shall be brought to this assembly so that at least we know more about our site. Yet today we are on 14th of November. A detailed report we've not seen, indicating from the annex from the letter which we received on the 26th of September. So, Mr. Speaker, to my opinion, indeed, the cultural site should have been revisited well, but up to this one, it has not met the threshold of passing this report, Mr. Speaker. And concerning also our football pitch, Mr. Speaker, we see that the report which has been brought to us from the department, from the Committee of Sports and Gender, Mr. Speaker, we see that even maintaining the pitches which we have, Mr. Speaker, if you go to our pitches, you see that the wangla is being danced within our pitches. It's not, they are not serving the purposes which they were intended for. If you go to our pitches are like the Kenyatta Sports Ground, you go to the Mamboleo, Kenyatta International Sports Ground, the grounds have been changed for what they were not meant for the dancing of the wangla. If you go to the pitch now, recently we were with Honorable Dede, we were with Honorable Were, who is the vice chair, while we were training at one of the pitches, and he is also claimed over the usage of the pitches, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think, to my opinion, this report should have been returned back to the sender so that they dig deep and bring for us proper information concerning all what was expected in this report. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, that's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the scope of this report, to me, meets the standard of acceptance, Mr. Speaker, and I stand to support the adoption. Mr. Speaker, they have simply listed the areas of concern as far as sports is concerned in this county, Mr. Speaker. And if you look at the report properly, they have identified each of them. They have underlined what they observed vis-a-vis the recommendations they have given, Mr. Speaker. Where the land belongs to the community, they have recommended that something should be done so that we see how the transfer can be done, Mr. Speaker. There is no any final detail that can be done beyond that, Mr. Speaker. They have given sufficient recommendations, and I think and I believe that these recommendations are sufficient enough to change the dimension and the pitches that we have in this county as far as the sports are concerned, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, if we say, for example, that we don't adopt this, Mr. Speaker, then where are we heading, Mr. Speaker? We need to move from one point to the other, and let us all unite to change the face of our sporting activities in the whole Kisumu County. I therefore stand to support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Koyo, let me give Honorable Regina Kizito first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to support this report simply because if I look at the report now and if I compared it to last time when it was brought, Mr. Speaker, there's a lot of improvement. And on the recommendations that have been listed for Muhoroni Stadium, Mr. Speaker, I can say that they are good recommendations, and we really need an upgrade in Muhoroni Stadium. And on site observations, I can see the for Moroni Stadium, there's something here on ownership, that it was originally owned by the Ministry of Agriculture, transferred to the LBDA in 1999, then transferred to the County Council on behalf of Tonde settlers. Mr. Speaker, this is true, and I'm privy to this information. And I also want to say that I think the County Council is part of the county government. So definitely, it's under the county government. So, Mr. Speaker, I support this report, and please let us adopt it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this report because it's a good start, and I think it will, at some point, help us identify and do something about the sites which, to me, rising to put my point across. Mr. Speaker, I believe many members know that we have some sites which we should have identified long time ago and make them known. If the title deeds are not there, they should be prepared and be listed as public utilities or sites for that matter. Mr. Speaker, I've been following up with the department on the site of the former or the late Okoro Gonda, who is one of the heroes in Kisumu. But Mr. Speaker, to my surprise, I came to know that this is one of the sites which had been grabbed, and I think some people even tried to sell it to another developer, which did not materialize. So I believe with this report, Mr. Speaker, we will reach to bring or get back the such sites and make them known and listed down as the sites which should be visited and at the same time owned by the county government of Kisumu. So, Mr. Speaker, I support.
James Omola.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, reading the mood of the House, may I call the mover to reply?
Is it Honorable Calvin?
Mr.
I believe he read because there was nobody standing.
But I was behind him.
No, I'm seated here.
I thought you wanted to contribute, Mr. Speaker.
I'm saying I'm seated here. I'm able to see the whole house.
I thought he wanted to contribute.
Nobody standing. But anyway, can you contribute?
Honorable did also want to contribute.
Then Matara, you reply.
Mr. Speaker, it is a good report. Although there's a critical area I wanted to be included in the report, and an advice to most of us to understand the report fully. I was seeing the report, and Honorable Were, being so selfish a bit, had to include the Nanga in that report, by virtue that is in that committee, and he has privilege maybe to many information. Mr. Speaker, the issue of pitch is so sensitive, and I believe most of the MCs in the 35 wards will always want to have a pitch recognized by the county and to see funds being availed so that we can have those pitch made to a certain standard, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my worry is that when I was looking at Nanga, the registration was Nanga Primary. When I was looking at Alango, they're also claiming it using the primary field. I have a problem with some few head teachers around in my ward because they have decided to fence most of these schools they have today and even exclude, to some extent, the young people cannot go and play there. So when reading the report, I felt that this can be a loophole, so that with the committee, we see if we can have a letter so that other schools can be identified by the county, so that most of their pitch can be used to assist young boys and young girls who want to play football and other games to use those fields. But with the current usage of NGCDF fund by the MPs and targeting these schools and fencing them, there's that ownership problem. And when it comes to ownership problem, it now becomes a problem between the people and the management of school. But with such a report, which I will want maybe the move of the motion to try and explain and even advise what I can do, I will be very happy if I get to know why they had to choose Nanga maybe and to choose Alango. And if there's that provision, then they advise members to identify even one school that the county government can coordinate with, and most of their pitch be improved by the county. That is my submission, and I support the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you to the honorable members who contributed towards this report. Mr. Speaker, first I want to thank Honorable Nerea for standing up and contribute. But Mr. Speaker, I want just to tell me, Honorable Nerea, kindly reread the report and get the info. To Honorable Pamela Oyo, thank you so much. We are going to work hand in hand with the executive to make sure that we can own the lands which are possible to be owned. Honorable Dede, thank you so much for your contribution, and you know that we work on each and every area. Even in your area, we went and work on it, and the info you've got at your report. I want to thank all the members that have already supported this, and I want also to give thanks to Honorable Regina for the confirming of our recommendation. To our Honorable Calvin Oraro, we didn't choose any football pitch. We went all through the football pitch within the Kisumu County, and we got our observation. There was no special pitch that you are looking at, or we are choosing the pitches. What you are conducting, you are doing the overall cultural sites and the football pitches within Kisumu County. And that's the reason why we fall in Nanga. Maybe Nanga might be so special because you find my vice is also coming from the same ward. I want to give thanks also to the members, because I want to say that the approval of the report will give the executive powers to initiate and plan for all these. And something that I can say during the CASA rehearsals when you are training, on the issue of changing rooms, which is so important that we should have it in each and every pitch, in football pitch or in any other disciplines. We find ourselves that you are changing just on the pitch. That if you don't change where you're coming from, then it have to force you just to change on the pitch. And I think that when we are doing this, we should have a provision of a changing room in each and every football pitch, in each and every discipline that we are going to have. And I want to take this opportunity to thank members, and I reply.
You can't contribute. I was seeing you touching your microphone. And actually, he had contributed. Honorable members, now that the motion report of the Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs Committee on the status of various cultural sites and football pitches within the county have been moved, seconded, and debated, as per our standing orders, I want to put a question. And I put a question that, as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of a report of the Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs Committee on the status of various cultural sites and football pitches within the county be adopted, say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it.
No. No. The nays have it. The nays have it.
And the Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs Committee report on the cultural sites and football pitches within the county have been adopted today, Wednesday, 13th of November 2024 at 15:53 hours. And I do direct that the recommendation of the said reports be communicated to the relevant department for action. Honorable members, you must also be aware that this is the time when the budget is starting. We are just handling the annual development plan for the 2025-2026 financial year. So remember, it's an opportunity for you to ensure that whatever you have resolved in this report, to be part and parcel of it in ensuring that it appears in the next budget. Otherwise, I saw the Honorable Deputy Speaker on his foot and the Honorable Dede. You know the rules of the House. If within 5 seconds, not less than 5 people are in their feet, then we call for division. So I looked around and I could only see 2 people on their feet. So it means my judgment was right. So we proceed. Next order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. There's no.
Honorable members, you can be upstanding. Honorable members, there being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 14th of November, 2024 at 2:30 p.m.